Recently, I felt this calling, an inner calling to give my testimony for how I found Saint Germain in less than 5 minutes. Let's see if I can do that, if we can pull it off. One of the things that kind of motivated me is to understand what legacy do we want to leave for people. They talk about prosperity or on this plane. I want to give credit to God and to my discovery of God through various different forms, some of them that were unknown. Somewhere in 1993, well, first of all, let me show you a rendition, a picture of Saint Germain. Okay, so you can kind of focus in on that. I think in the outer that I first became aware of Saint Germain in 1993, round in 1993, somewhere in the summer. And I was introduced to Saint Germain through this physical teacher, where there's an image of right here. Her name is Elizabeth Clare Prophet. And I first learned about Saint Germain in my outer awareness while I was in Southern California in my sister's apartment in Los Angeles County. And I happened to be laying on the couch, and I turned on a cable news broadcast show, or a cable public access station, and I saw this woman, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, giving a lecture, and the lecture was titled Karma, Reincarnation, Christianity. And she showed in her cable presentation some paintings, we call them focuses, of both Saint Germain and Jesus. And that really started to develop my interest. I felt some sort of inner memory or calling that I knew something about this story. Now, what I want to say to you is something that I haven't said to very many people. Actually, I wrote about it in some of my memoirs, that I actually, as a little kid, even as long back as 5 or 6 or earlier than that, we used to sit in kindergarten and they asked us to draw. They gave us a pen and a paper and they asked us to draw. And I used to draw these figures again and again. One of them was a set of wings, and the other one was what looked like a mag wheel. For those boys or kids or men that understand, a mag wheel is part of, that fits inside of a tire, and then usually it's kind of like a hot rod. Well, it wasn't till many, many years ago, and I used to draw these figures again and again and again, and it went on through not just my childhood, but teenage years, junior high school, for a long, long time. Until eventually, somewhere around in 1993, after I met Mrs. Prophet's activity, or I came in contact with her activity, and went to a conference in Montana in 1993, I actually was sitting in a group with a large group of people at the very end of this large auditorium where people were giving different things. There were lectures, and there was a form of accelerated prayer called decrees, and they had these really large pictures, focuses. One of them was that Saint Germain focus that I had seen so many times. And then I noticed at the top of the focus was this symbol where they had these wings, and within them was this Maltese cross, as they called it. And for a minute, I stepped back and I went like, oh my God, those are the figures I've been drawing my whole life. And those figures, the Maltese cross, which I drew as a mag wheel, and the set of wings, which as a little boy, I turned the wings into a bird. I put feet on it and a head, tried to make sense of it, but they went together. The Maltese cross went inside the wings, and that was the symbology that was associated with Saint Germain. So then it became really evident and clear to me that I've had an association with the Ascended Master Saint Germain since childhood. Now, how could that be? How could that be possible? I never heard of Elizabeth Clare Prophet. I never heard of the Summit Lighthouse. I never heard of the teachings of the Ascended Masters. I never even knew what an Ascended Master was. And yet, since childhood, I have been drawing these figures that it took me until I was about 35 years of age when I came in contact with those actual images put together, that they were the images and the symbols related to Saint Germain. Now, what those symbols mean, that was another journey. So I'm going to stop this here at 5 minutes. That's how I first came to know Saint Germain. God bless.